Dr. RJB here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about pneumonia. Now, we have to feel lucky these days. And the reason I say that is this. Years ago, let's just say in the 1800s, if somebody had pneumonia, there was a high risk that they were not going to make it. Um, During the 1800s, when there weren't any antibiotics available, um, uh, if somebody developed pneumonia, 50% of the time they would die. There were no antibiotics at that time to treat pneumonia, and so your body had to fight it off. Well, pneumonia being a fairly serious infection, um, uh, since we didn't have the means to treat it, um, uh, if the person couldn't get over the infection, they passed away. Um, Now, once we started to have antibiotics and some of the other treatments, the risk is much less. These days, if somebody has a pneumonia, there's only about a 10% chance that they're going to have serious problems or mortality from that pneumonia. Most of the time, even if they're very ill, we can get them on some antibiotics and pull them back, and they'll survive the pneumonia problems. Um, uh, the kind of interesting thing for me when I started medicine, I started in the early 1980s, and I was amazed by the fact that the first antibiotic that was available was penicillin. And penicillin was only available since the World War II. So somewhere around 1942, we had penicillin available to treat infection. Um, what is amazing is that before World War II, if you got a pneumonia, you basically had a big risk of dying. After penicillin, all of a sudden, the risk was much less. After penicillin was developed, they started finding more and more antibiotics. Such as tetracycline, erythromycin, um, uh, cephalosporins, different antibiotics that could treat different bacterias, so that eventually, no matter what bacteria came in with that caused your pneumonia, they had an antibiotic that they could choose to try to treat it. Um, Now, the most common type uh, uh, of pneumonia is what we call community-acquired pneumonia. We also sometimes call this walking pneumonia. The reason they talk about that is that the milder forms of pneumonia, many times people don't even know that they have pneumonia. And unless they have some concern and their physician does a chest x-ray, they might, go on doing everything just the same and just wondering why they don't feel up to par. Um, uh, so maybe they have some tiredness. They might have a tiny little cough, you know, and really don't make anything of it. Um, they may not even have a fever. It's very possible they may just pass it off as just a bad day. Um, but they could actually have a pneumonia that their body is already fighting, and they do quite well with it. Um, Now, like I said, that's one of the more common types. And probably in the old days, people didn't even know they had it. And that's why the statistics are so bad for pneumonia, because the ones who they did know about were the ones that really didn't do so well. But in any event, like I said, we have antibiotics today. We can treat it. Some Sometimes we treat it at home because the condition is not too serious. Sometimes it has to be treated in the hospital with IV antibiotics to get over the infection. Um, But like I said, much better these days. Again, in the 1800s, the natural lifespan was only 45 years of age. These days, the natural lifespan is about 80 years of age. So we got just about double the lifespan by all the medical things that we came up with. Okay, take care.